Hey, what's up guys? So I want to show you not a really old video, maybe it's about a year old, and I made this video before I even had a YouTube channel. It's back when I was doing all those videos with Illusionist on their sort of Discord Discord server. You remember the videos on tips on tricks? If you don't, I was on a few of them, and I'll leave some links down below if you want to watch those. It was way before I started doing YouTube. Anyway, you know, JT and Perseus really liked my stuff, and actually JT ended up reaching out to me about this particular trick I did called a color changing deck, and he wanted me to become an illusionist artist, and so I sent him the video and the explanation, and he just never got back to me. So I was like, okay, I guess they don't want to use this video even though it's pure gold, and so I was like, yeah, it was kind of disrespectful in the fact that he could have at least said, hey, we're not really interested, or whatever, but he just said nothing. I'm not really mad at Illusionist anymore, or JT, so JT, if you're watching this, it's all good, brother. I think the main reason why I was upset is because I always dreamt of being one of those cool illusionist guys, you know, but I realized if I would have done that, I think this YouTube thing wouldn't have turned out the way it is, and so I would rather be doing this than the illusionist thing, honestly. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys this color changing deck that I did, and I'm going to use the original content that I showed them about a year ago, and so I hope you like it. Hey, what's up guys? So today, I'm going to show you the famous card to pocket trick. What happens is somebody picks a card and it ends up in your pocket. In this case, we'll use the 5 of spades. Now, whenever I do this trick, people sometimes think I'm using like trick cards, but the truth is you can use any deck you want. And some of you might already have these cards at home, which is a good thing. Some of you might have the blue cohorts, or maybe like the pink rounders. Those are good cards to use. Maybe the Knights deck, or maybe the Sleepers deck. Those are cool. King's deck, even cooler. Any deck of cards you want to use, feel free to use it. Oh, my favorite, the original 2001 Illusionist deck. Love those cards. Oh, the card to pocket. Yeah, the 5 of spades. Hey, what's up guys? So here is the explanation for the card to pocket, or the color changing rainbow deck trick. Let's get into it. Alright, so to perform this trick, you'll need a few things. One is double stick tape. Now this is just the standard Scotch permanent double stick tape that you can find at Walmart or any store like that. And 2, you'll need just a regular deck of cards, like a bicycle deck. And 3, you'll need a rainbow deck. Now, I just made this rainbow deck because I didn't have one at the time, but there's plenty of them that you can buy in the market. But I feel that if you make your own, I just literally just took 52 random decks of cards and put one from each into this deck. If you do that, I think you become more familiar with it, and you can talk about your favorite cards and all that good stuff, which makes for a better performance, I think. So the reason why I choose to use a rainbow deck is for 2 reasons. One, it makes more sense from a method standpoint, and 2, it just has a better impact on the audience and what they see and how they'll tell the story. I mean, imagine if you just change it from red to blue, they'll just say, oh, we changed the cards from red to blue, that was crazy. But with a rainbow deck, you get all these extra changes for free, right? And they'll tell the story and they'll say stuff like, he changed all the cards into different cards, it was crazy, and it just seems more impossible if you just do it with a rainbow deck. That's just my opinion. Alright, so I have 2 versions of this effect. One that just focuses on social media performance for the camera, right? And the other one, you can actually do it for a live audience. And we'll get into both, but for now, I'll just focus on social media performance. Alright, so to set that up, you'll take your rainbow deck, and you want to take about, I don't know, between 30 and 35 of the rainbow cards. Maybe that much will be fine. You can set these guys off to the side. They are not needed for the effect. All right, and then you'll take your regular cards, and you want to take about, I don't know, maybe 15 to 17 cards. You just want to make it feel and look like it's just a deck of cards, right? So the way you can test that is just by putting those on there, and I think that looks pretty good. I mean, that looks like a deck of cards. And here's where that double stick tape comes into play, because you're going to make a simple gimmick You'll need to take 2 of the rainbow cards, and you want to choose cards that are high in contrast. Here I'm just using a blue cohort, and I'm using a pink rounder. And you'll also want to take one of the red cards, just a regular bicycle deck. And then with your double stick tape, you're going to make a double backer. You'll just, with the double stick tape, you'll take a little piece, maybe that big, and then put that anywhere on the face there, and then just stick that guy onto there, and you have a custom double backer. All right, and then you'll also want to put a little piece, which I've already done, on the back of the rainbow back. Okay, and then lastly, you will put the other rainbow card onto there, and then stick it on there. And for all intents and purposes, this is just a regular bicycle card. Okay. So, to set this up, you will put the red cards on top, and then you will put the gimmick second from the bottom of the regular bicycle deck, okay? So whatever the gimmick card is, in this case the 4 of spades, this is the card that will be already in your pocket for the card to pocket finale, okay? So that just goes there in your pocket, but I'll just set it there for now. All right, so to perform this is what's going to happen. All right, so you want to have the box out, and this is just a subtle convincer that you're using a red deck of cards, but again, the audience will never suspect that since you're just using a red box. So you take the cards out, and you'll explain that, have you ever seen the famous card to pocket trick? And then what you're doing here is spreading the cards, and then you're feeling for that thick card, because it's 3 cards thick, and you can really feel it slide across your fingers when you get to it. All right, so you say, have you ever seen the famous card to pocket trick? And then you just stop there when you feel the gimmick, okay? What you don't want to do is spread the deck of cards and be like, I have a red deck of cards here, all the cards are red, because that's just bad scripting, that's bad performance. All that's going to do is make them suspicious and make them think that there might be different colored cards in the deck. I mean, the less you say, the more you can accomplish, okay? So, what you're going to do is you say, have you ever seen the famous card to pocket trick? Yeah, it's the one where somebody picks a card and ends up in your pocket, right? And you're saying this as you feel for the gimmick, and say, in this case, we'll just use the 4 of spades, all right? And by turning this over, you don't really get a chance to see how thick the card is, which is a good touch. So the one where the card goes into the pocket. Now, whenever I do this trick, people think they're trick cards. All right, as you're saying this with moving your hand around like this, what you're doing is riffling down with your pinky like this to get a break somewhere in the middle, okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to make it appear as though you've set these cards on the bottom, but what's really happening is you're putting these cards inside of the break, okay? All right, so once you're here, you can see what card that you have a break above, right? And that's going to become your key card in a sense. That's the great thing about using the rainbow deck. So as you're saying this, the card will go in the pocket, blah, blah, blah. You just do like a pinky count to pop that card up, okay? And then you will put the cards inside of the break, and then you go into the change. All right, so here's how the change happens. The position you're in is that you have the gimmick on top, followed by one of the regular cards that matches the gimmick, and then about half of your rainbow cards, then all of the red cards, and then half of the rainbow cards again, okay? So at this point, you're just going to talk about how you can do with any deck of cards, but really you can use any cards you want, and as you say that, you just gesture with your hands, but really you can use any cards that you want. In fact, I have a whole collection at home that I've done this trick with, and then as you come back, you just pop that double backer off onto the deck, okay? But be careful not to actually make that sound with the tape, okay? So just be gentle with it and you won't get that problem. Okay, so you just, as you come back, you gently pop it off, and then you want to anchor down with your index finger, because you don't want to get that click sound. And what you want to do is you sort of, as you're anchoring down on the middle, you sort of just twist it, and that'll dislodge the tape, okay? Which makes for a beautiful change. And you say, I've done it with my blue cohorts, and just give a little wave, and that just visibly changes. And then, as I was saying earlier, you get an extra change because now this is just that single pink rounder, which I think is a awesome thing. You get 2 changes for free. So you're here, I'll do that one more time. So you come back, but I've done it with my blue cohorts. Give that the twist, give that a wave. You can do it with your blue cohorts. You can do it with your pink rounders. In fact, I've done it with all of my cards. I've done it with the James Coffey. I've done it with Chris Ramsey's cards, the black rounders, the studs. And then what you're doing here is you're doing block push-offs, right? Because when you get to your key card, you're going to do another block push-off of the entire block of 17 cards. All right, so once again, you are just doing like a block push-off, and then you're talking about your favorite cards. All right, so you can say, you can use any deck of cards you want to use. You can do it with the Jerry's Nugget deck. You can do it with the James Coffey deck. And then you're just doing small block push-offs. And then each time you're talking about one of the different cards and how you like them, you can do it with the stud cards. These little block push-offs will condition them for what's about to come when you do the block push-off of the entire 17 card block of red cards. You can do it with the jack cards, and then keep going until you reach your key card, which when you feel like you're getting towards that, just do singles, okay? So at this point you relax and you say, but really any deck of cards will work, and then you just do that block push-off, and then keep talking about the cards. You can do it with the Fultons, the Tally Hoes, and then when you get to the end, you talk about your favorite card, and then you just set the deck down and then say, the only red card I use is the one that I keep in my pocket, and that's when you go in your pocket, and then you take out the 4 of spades there. And that's the social media part. Let's get into the how you can do it for a real spectator. All right, so the setup for this is kind of the same. Starts off with the force card in your pocket, and then the setup for the deck is the same, with one exception, that the gimmick starts out on top, okay? The rest is the same, where the red cards are on top, followed by the rainbow cards, okay? So, to start this off, you will say, have you ever seen the famous card to pocket trick? Yeah, it's the one where somebody picks a card and ends up in your pocket. And then as you're saying that, you come up and say, you can see all the cards are different. And then what you're doing here, you were just locating where it breaks, and then as you come down, you just get a pinky break above one of the cards, one of the red cards there, okay? So as you come down, you square the deck up and get a break above that card. All right, and then you ask somebody to help you, and as you're asking that, you say, can somebody help me with this? Who wants to help me? And then as you're talking, you are casually cutting the deck, but what you're doing is doing a slip cut first, and then keeping an end jog there, okay? And then cutting the rest of the cards on top, keeping that end jog, just like that, okay? So once again, so who wants to help me with this? Perfect. We just say stop anywhere, and then what I've done there is lifted up at the end jog and got a break below that gimmick, okay? So at this point, you will riffle force the gimmick onto the spectator, and you just riffle your thumb down like that until they say stop. Once they do, you lift up, not where they actually said stop, but you will lift up at the break there, okay? And at this point, you turn this hand palm up, then thumb over that gimmick card, okay? From here, everything is exactly the same as in the social media effect. You know, get your key card, pop that up, and then put those there, and then you do the change. But really, you can do this with any deck. I just want to see the change again. And then you're here, and then you can proceed with the trick.